The Cosmopolitan is actually a bit of a misunderstood cocktail. It isn't just that drink which is overly sweet, bright neon red, and ordered because people have seen it on Sex and the City. Or at least it doesn't have to be. So today I'm going to show you my favourite version of this drink, which not only nods to the past and takes inspiration from something that is a precursor to the Cosmo to really elevate the drink, but it also brings it up to date, gives a really balanced drink which isn't overly sweet, and I think is really, really delicious. So let's make a Cosmo. So when it comes to the origins of the Cosmo, there are a few different schools of thought here. Some seem really definitive, some seem a little bit more murky and complex. But the general consensus seems to be that the drink, the Cosmo, was originally created by a bartender called Toby Cecchini in the 1980s, but then it was really kind of refined, defined and popularized by a bartender called Dale DeGroff, who's one of the most famous bartenders of all time. And he really pushed it into the spotlight, partly in the Rainbow Rooms in New York, but then the drink spread all over the world, really kind of defining an era. So before this, there is actually another drink which we need to think about, which was also called a Cosmopolitan or a Cosmopolitan Daisy. And this drink was sort of similar in a way, but also different. And it included raspberry syrup, it had gin instead of vodka, and it wasn't quite the same drink, but it does bear some resemblance, so we need to kind of consider that. And when I make my Cosmopolitans, I like to kind of reference the 1934 Cosmopolitan by introducing something which I think really elevates the drink. Just a couple of raspberries, because we've got the really tart and dry flavour from the cranberry. Raspberries bring a really nice welcome sweetness and juiciness, and these are the base of my Cosmopolitan. So it looks very simple, but 2 raspberries make a big difference. So these raspberries are obviously to replace the raspberry syrup in the 1934 Cosmopolitan, and then around this we're going to build a more familiar template, often kind of referred to as the classic Cosmopolitan. And it's going to be 4 ingredients, and we're going to go 10, 20, 30, 40 mils. So first of all, the 10 mil is going to be our citrus, which is going to be lime juice. We're going to add more citrus to this whilst also bringing the sweetness in the form of Cointreau, 20 mils. We're going to go 30 mils of cranberry juice. Historically, this would be Ocean Spray, which was a really popular brand, but you can use whichever brand you like. Ideally something with a little bit more sweetness if you can. Or what I even like to do here is actually add pomegranate juice, which is what this is, because it has a little bit more roundness, a little bit less dry tartness, and I think it just rounds out the drink, working really nicely with the raspberries. And then finally, as with most cocktails in the 1980s, we're going to have vodka as our base spirit. So quickly to build the drink, 10 mils of our lime juice for our citrus, 20 mils of Cointreau, or your favorite orange liqueur, which is also going to be our sweetener, 30 mils of cranberry juice, or even pomegranate juice if you're feeling a bit more fruity, 40 mils of a really good quality vodka. And you could choose a citrus vodka here if you like, but we are hitting a few citrus notes with the lime juice and the Cointreau, so I don't think it's a necessary step, although it does add a little bit more citrus to the drink, if you like. And then there we have a really easy template for a Cosmo. 10, 20, 30, 40, lime, Cointreau, cranberry, vodka. And what we're looking at here is essentially a riff on a sour. So we have the spirit, which is our base spirit, which is going to be vodka. We have our acidity, which is our lime juice. We have a sweetener, which is the orange liqueur, and we're just going to lengthen that with a little bit of our cranberry or our pomegranate, which kind of bridges the acidity and the sweetness. So this is kind of a drink that does make sense, and these proportions really give you a nicely balanced drink. And then now we need to give this a good shake over ice. So you'll notice I haven't actually muddled the raspberries, just because it's not necessary. The ice is going to really kind of mix it into the drink really well, so don't bother wasting your time with that. So now we can fine strain out our Cosmo, just to remove any flecks of ice in there. And you can see it's got that really nice kind of pinky hue. It's not over the top, and we haven't added any sugar to this, so we're really getting a nicely refined, crisp, but also well-balanced Cosmo, which I think works really nicely. To finish the drink, we have an iconic garnish, which is going to be a flamed orange zest, and you just want to take a little coin from your orange, and then what we're going to do is just carefully light this over the drink and express it onto the liquid. So just very carefully burn the oil, just to warm it through, and then when you're ready, zest, rim the glass, and you've got that really nice orange citrusy aroma. And then we have a delicious drink with a nod to the past in there as well, which I think really levels it up, called a Cosmopolitan. So enjoy, my friends.